Hey everyone, welcome to the video this week. No visual effects, as I've been busy preparing to go to Alaska again this year. With that being said, let's talk about how I got fat. Now, I wanted to cover this topic for a couple of reasons. One is because someone specifically asked me, and I want to answer that call to curiosity, not only for the person that asked, but I'm sure many others are wondering the same thing. And two, I think it's important for me to look back and reflect on my mistakes that I made, and be able to recognize those for the future. I do want to make one thing abundantly clear before I really dive into this topic, and that is that no one is responsible for the size that I got except for me. In no way, shape, or form am I trying to make excuses for what happened, or blame others, or push off this responsibility on other people, because ultimately I'm the one that made the decisions that got me to where I am today. First and foremost, I have to address the genetic side of things. Weight issues do run in my family, and I'm not alone when it comes to that slow metabolism, let's put it that way. And second off, I was not blessed with the best feet. I not only have flat feet, but I also have plantar fasciitis, and my feet roll out, which causes an enormous amount of pain in my feet, and it didn't exactly encourage me to be the most active. So right out of the gate, I had a lot of these genetic issues that already were putting me down a path that I didn't really want to go on. So once again, these are not excuses. This is just stuff that I'm trying to give you a better understanding of where I'm coming from and the struggles that I've dealt with genetically. So moving on from that, another point that I would like to make is family life. Now, I love my parents. I love my mom and dad, but I grew up in a home where health wasn't necessarily always the focus, and it was more about sharing a meal together, which isn't bad, and I think I gained a lot of good stuff from having those family meals, but my mom always looked to please us with what she fed us, so it was more of a pleasing game versus a health game. And of course, what do you enjoy? Well, we enjoy the fats, the sugars, the greasy stuff. Like, that's what we enjoy. And this is not to say that once I started to show weight issues that we didn't try any diets or we didn't try to change what we were eating, because I did. I implemented, there were several points in my life where my parents actually initiated, trying to get me involved with health stuff and dieting, but none of those things ever accomplished a lifestyle change like I'm making now. It's not like we didn't try dieting in the past. I'd done programs when I was in elementary school, when I was in middle school, when I was in high school, and I know that a lot of people out there are going to want to blame my parents, are going to want to say it's their fault, but by no means is it their fault, and ultimately, like I said, the responsibility falls on me. Now, when I said family life, you may have thought this meant just my immediate family. However, I think this issue pertains to a greater audience, where it includes not only my extended family, but also my cultural family, would you like to say? I guess like city, location, social. In America, I think we struggle with an overabundance of things, and with that, it kind of bled into our culture in that when we go to events, when we have gatherings, it's always bring a dish to pass. And that's not such a bad thing, but typically those dishes that you're bringing to pass aren't the most healthy. And as a kid, I would go to these events and it was free reign. I didn't really have anyone telling me, oh, don't go for seconds, or don't go and grab 2-3 desserts. It was just something I did, and it encouraged that habit that I already had as I was growing up. But none of that excuses what I did to myself. Now, the last thing that I think would play a part in my weight gain was actually school. Now, I know that sounds really odd, and I could actually delve into the topic of school a little bit more, but basically, I didn't like school. I just didn't, and I felt like it was holding me back from doing the things that I really wanted to do, and as a result of that, I ate. Because it was the one thing that I had control over and that I could affect, because everything else I was being locked down. I was I was told what assignments I was going to do. I was told what classes I had to go into. I was told what tests to take and what scores I needed to get. Everything that I was doing, I was being told to do. And if you know anything about my personality, I don't like being told what to do. School honestly just wore me down, and I was too exhausted to even deal with the issue that I had at hand. I would say college was the first time that I decided, like, you know what, these bad eating habits are going to get me killed, and I need to address them. But I was too busy focusing on graduating and getting through college and just getting my degree so that I could get out of the school life, that I didn't focus on the health side of things. So now you may be thinking to yourself, if you had all these things against you and you had this personality and this mindset, what was that turning point? What was that point where I said, you know what, I need to really turn things around? Well, let me tell you. So for all of this to make sense, I do have to go back to high school real quick and tell you kind of some of the stuff I was doing. One, I was really involved with a lot of computer classes and learning programming, and helping with computer repair. I was really involved with that side of things. And the other thing was our theater. I was actually the lead lighting technician. This meant that I got to design, set up, and run the lights for every student production. It was a really big creative outlet for me, and it was something that I really enjoyed doing. But when I graduated from high school, I felt like I had to pick between my love for theater and lighting and design, or my love for programming and computers and software. I picked the more job secure and not as physical job that I could have picked, the programming. So that's what I was going to go into. Halfway through college, I had a good friend who was over in LA going to film school, and he invited me to come out and visit him in LA. I decided I'm going to take a little trip. I'm going to take a trip over to see my friend in LA for a week. On this trip, my friend actually introduced me to YouTube for like the first time I had actually taken a serious look at it. And he showed me some channels on there. The ones that really stuck out for me were Corridor Digital and Rocket Jump. And just seeing them be able to use their talent in video production, and being able to build off of that to create an audience and to make entertaining content that people then could enjoy, and for them to make a career off of it, really inspired me. And thought, man, I really miss using that creative side, that side of me that got to design the lights and run shows and help entertain people. I really missed doing that. So I went back to college after that week, just contemplating what I was doing with my life and my career. And I made this decision in my head that, I want to go into video production. I want to try to attain that. And I'm gonna try to do that through YouTube. I struggled for a while, debating whether or not I'd actually finish college and get my degree. So I ended up going through with it and getting my computer degree anyway, which took me another 1.5 years. But even in that time, I didn't fully address my weight issue. But I knew now what I wanted to do with my life. When you want to do films, when you want to go out there and you want to film stuff, it doesn't necessarily help if you weigh over 500 pounds. So I decided that that's the first thing that I need to address. But I didn't want to wait to make videos. I didn't want to put it off any longer. I felt like I finally had the time being out of college to do what I wanted, and I'm going to go for it. The problem was I wasn't really in a position to do a lot of filming right off the bat. So I decided to document it, not only for myself and my own self-reflection, but also because if I can help people along the way, and if I can show someone my size, because let me tell you, that was one of the most discouraging things being my size, is that I'd go online and I wouldn't find any stories of people, over 500 pounds that had lost it, and especially had lost it naturally. And that's discouraging to not hear those stories, to not be able to have hope. So I do want to say, if there's anyone out there, if you're struggling with your weight, if you're over that 500 pound mark, go for it. It is possible. It's going to take some time. That's part of my reason for sharing my story is to encourage anyone out there that was in my same position, saying, I'm over 500 pounds. I'm a lost cause. No one understands me. I do. I do understand you, and it is possible. I wanted to show that it's possible, and it's gonna happen. I'm gonna lose the rest of it. There's no doubt in my mind that I'm gonna lose the rest of this weight. It's just a matter of time. But to bring it back to the point of why did I get so fat? Because I hadn't made a lifestyle change. I didn't have that self-drive to want to be healthy, to want to lose the weight. We all need to have that moment where we say enough is enough, and we need to turn things around. Now, this is not to say that filmmaking was the only thing that pushed me to this decision to lose weight. Obviously I also realized the health implications of being overweight, and the fact that I could die a lot sooner. So life was also a motivating factor in that. But this is my perspective, this is how I perceive the situations that went down, and I just want to reiterate, no one is to blame but myself. I may have had a lot of hard things happen in life, or I may have had a lot of bad influences, but ultimately it was my decision. I'm the one that overconsumed. I'm the one that put that food into my mouth and made the conscious decision to overeat. And now I'm dealing with those consequences. Please don't be afraid to ask questions to me. I'm pretty open. Like I said, it's something that, as someone who was in that position over that 500-pound mark, I want to be able to share, because I didn't have that. I felt discouraged that I didn't have that. So if I can be that, if you have any questions for me, put them in the comments, please. I ask you to put those in the comments, because I genuinely want to be open about this process. But with that being said, let me take you over to the weigh-in this week. Well, it's that time of the week again. Time to go get weighed. This week was pretty good. I stuck to my diet with the whole Soylent for lunch and turkey wraps for dinner. With that being said, let's go see how I did this week. I'm not really sure why I went up this week, because I stuck to the same diet plan. I went up like a pound, so. But I'm thinking maybe it was my lack of sleep, because I had 3 nights in a row where I stayed up till 3 a.m. finishing the lightsaber video. Could be. Yeah, so I'm gonna chalk it up to that for this week, and the fact that I haven't been getting back to the gym like I'd want to yet. But I do have a schedule in place that hopefully, that I'm going to stick to. Let's just say here, I'm going to stick to my plan this week. It's a good week for me to test it out and see how it goes. And if I need to make any adjustments. But with that being said, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. And as always, you guys have a wonderful week.